lunch. What do you expect? Shall I sing lullaby? No? Oh, okay. Post-lunch, you don't even need a lullaby. We are that comatic now. How many gulab jamuns on an average consumed in this room? Kala jamun. Kitna liya? Do? None. 1. 0. 2. 1. 1. Acha, listen. If you sit at the back, you're not going to get extra salary next month. That I don't promise. ये backbencher का क्या हाल है? I think they're all living their student dreams, right? Some organizations have promised that if you come and occupy the first 4 rows, you might have a review in your salary. No? Okay, you will get an extra vacation. Some people don't need salaries. They want just chutti. As it is, we are just working 130 days. Aur bhi 30 din kam kar do. See, now they're all moving. The vacation wallahs are moving to the front. What else can we? Okay, maybe you can have, you will get only half teaching assignment if you come to the first 4 rows. Nahin? Okay, so warm welcome to an interesting and important session. First of all, I want to congratulate the organizers and the planners for thinking about us, our mental health. A lot of educational conferences skip, and say that just be the superhuman, finish your deliveries, not the maternal deliveries. But to consciously think of well-being of the team, the educators, is, I think, saying something about setting our priorities. So since when have we become so worried about mental health of educators? Let's just see, if you're not going to talk and respond, I will start singing. And I have a terrible voice. Okay? Post-pandemic, okay. Well, I know that students' mental health became an issue because we suddenly saw surge in the suicide. And we didn't commit suicide, thankfully. What was the sparkling point? What was it, you think? What were some of those? Yes. I have assessment, measurement, and comparison. That triggered something about the educators. Anything else that was so tangible? Job? Documentation. No, I'm talking about what was a trigger point for us to suddenly sit up and say, educators' mental health, hey, we need to look at it.
Anxiety.
No, what's the trigger point? What was that visible trigger point? Teachers' fatigue, yes.
Anxiety.
Teachers' anxiety. Okay, drop in enthusiasm. So we kind of came to school or online like a little robotic zombie. Lot of uncertainty, but one tangible data that spoke was hyper expectation. Suddenly, the classroom was in the living room. They started criticizing how we look, what's the pronunciation, our methods, and they started telling us sometimes they would say, you haven't answered my child. So a lot of those, we suddenly became this focal point, and the data showed massive departure.
Stress
Something
as well?
genuinely was happening, that teachers actually found reasons not to continue. So I think in that context, to kind of sit together and see why mental health or why total well-being matters to us is very, very relevant. And thank you, Madhav, and the organizers, and Jacob, and you. I'm sure you kind of put the spotlight on. Thank you. So we're going to do, you have got 2 sheets, okay? The first sheet, just write what's your feeling, status right now in big bold letters and just show it up. What's your feeling right now? Don't write, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. Okay, those are all given. What's your feeling, state of mind? What's your emotion? Quickly, and don't overthink. Because emotions don't need too much of analysis and digging deep. What's the top feeling that you have, emotion that you have? And just, hold it up. Excited, relaxed, curious, happy, inquisitive. Show it up and look at each other's. What is yours? I know. No. Okay, I'm coming to you later. Curious. Pleasant. Charged. Bliss. Oh, nice. Calm. Okay. थोड़ा साइड में वो turn करो. Turn the page. The other side is empty, right? Blank. You're going to draw your face. It can be a caricature. Don't worry about the dimensions. Nose नाक थोड़ा नीचे है तो कोई बात नहीं. Just draw your face and write how you present yourself to the world. 5 words about you. Draw your face. Okay? How you present yourself to the world outside. Or how do you want to be perceived? Yeah, that's how you project. There's a correlation. How you want to be perceived. I want to be known as jolly good fellow. I project myself as a cool cat. I project myself as very organized, even if I'm maha disorganized. So just write 5 words. And if you're beautiful, just draw a nice, beautiful face, huh? And see, he's drawn a bunny. Okay, koi baat nahi. You don't need the whole body features and all, huh? Ye curves वगैरह छोड़ दो. Just one nice big face and 5 words. Done? Just hold on. I'm just waiting for... And this too, one of the major problems is overthinking. Abhi ye likhungi to he will come to know tomorrow. He will catch me in the corridor and he will tell, or in the staff room, he'll say, "Arey, you said you are very cool cat. Coolness ka spelling bhi nahi aata hai." Right? So don't overthink. Okay, this is something that's confidential. I'm not going to ask you to submit it for appraisal. I promise. Have you done it? Now, flip the page again. You remember you wrote that one word. Uske niche, you again draw your face. Now you write the words that you don't want the world to know, but who you are. I am actually an anxious person, but I hide it. And I promise this is confidentiality is there, so don't worry. Just be honest. What is that you hide from the world? 5 attributes, emotions, feelings, behavior. Because you remember, all behavior has a seat. in the thoughts and the feelings. Be honest to yourself. And you're terrified of anybody finding this about you. If you don't have 5, it's okay, even 1 or 2. Okay, it's not, 5 is not a holy number, but just sounds cool, that's all. Okay, done? Everyone? So you have one side is how you want to be perceived and you present yourself. And the other side, you have what you really are. There are those layers that you want to hide. And that's, both are true. I'm not saying what is written on one side is not true. But this is something that you're a little hesitant and you kind of are very worried about it coming out. You kind of keep it as in the layers of your mind. Ho gaya? Now crumple it. Make a ball. Nice ball, okay? Okay, all of you get up. And let's see who throws across the hall. Yeah, pick it up. Pick up somebody's ball. I mean somebody's paper ball. See, I wasn't going to say this and then somebody said that. Okay? Okay, you go walk across. There are lots of them that fallen on. Pick up one. Pick up one. हाँ जी, नहीं आ रहा है उनको. Go and pick up. Don't hold on to yours, okay? Go and pick up. Oh, there is one that's just now got thrown. Technically, all of you should have one paper. Have you gotten one? I saw one here. Okay, you can sit down. See, there's still more coming. Now open it. Look at both sides. Open it. Look at both sides. Open it. Read both sides. Is there anyone who wants to stand up and say the stark difference is written? Any one of you? Any one of you can share. You don't know the names. You don't know who has written it. You want to do that? Yes. Okay.
Sorted, organized, listener, happy, enthusiastic.
Okay, and the other side?
Anxious, overthinker, fearful, serious, and messy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just see this person's integrity, and that we actually realize that each of us sitting in this room, and this is an indicator for the leaders. This is a real mirror for the leaders and for self, that we do have layers that are actually going to drive us a lot of our behavior. Anyone else? Want to share? Yeah, please.
Helpful. Other side, relaxed, tension, perfectness.
Sometimes perfection can be a stressful thing. It's a pain. It's a pain for you and for others. You drive nuts, right? Yes.
Someone wrote that they are blissed today and they are communicative, helpful, impactful, joyful, and learner. And the negative part is they are short-tempered, hate cooking every day, and they are sensitive.
Wonderful. Someone to actually acknowledge that I hate cooking. And in a lot of our cultures and homes, you're not allowed to say that very loud, right? You just have to, right? It's part of your role. It's part of your given. And to be able to acknowledge that I may be a bit insensitive, and that can create a whole lot of baggage. One more sharing. Yes.
First of all, I love the artist, beautiful eyes drawn. Then the person is trustworthy, hardworking, honest, professional, and open-minded. And he says there's a lot of things to learn today and to execute. And he doesn't want to show the world that he's unpunctual, emotional, sensitive, extremely giving, and seeks love.
Seeks love. Extremely not punctual. And do you see the struggles that really crop up in our workspaces? Right? Anyone else? Yes, please. Yeah, she needs a mic.
This person has said that they're emotionally strong, independent, happy and content, and problem solver. Feeling nostalgia is the other side of it, and is actually disturbed, confused, worried, and stressed, both professionally and personally.
Yeah, nostalgia can be a burden, very senti. The world may not share that nostalgic feelings and sentimental feelings. And अरे यार ये तो बहुत देवदास आदमी है, right? Whereas that other side is that this person loves to hold on to the memories and hold on to those experiences. So how was it to write? Now, your own feelings while you were writing, anyone? What was happening, what was going on in your mind while you were drawing the first face of who you want to be perceived or how you project? And the next one, things that you want the world not to know. What was happening in your mind? What were the thoughts? Okay, the shift in the mindset. What was the feeling going through for you? Okay, introspection. Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, ma'am. When you asked to draw the first one, it came very naturally and easy. The other one, a lot of things were going in the mind, whether I should do it, not do it, how will it go across, and things like that.
So there is always a sense of a small mistrust. Can I really reveal myself? Can I really be honest? Because you never know where this will land. Whereas it's easy to put myself as how I want to be perceived. It was quite quick. But the second part of what is that you want to, kind of layer it, I'm not very, very sure. I'm kind of helping each of us to understand the struggles that we have in this compartmentalization, which is the core of all our well-being. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So the more you realize, oh my God, I look like a split person, right? Anyone else? What was going on in your mind while you were doing this exercise?
So for me, the first part was how I may think about myself. But in the second part, it felt more about seeing myself from the eyes of another person. The
Okay.
feedback that I've received over the years, what has been the negative part of it, which I have also probably tried to overcome over the years, but that's the feedback. So it was not really just a mirror, but more about a perspective that I have received from other people.
Okay, so there is this whole, I know who I am, and then people have told me what I am. Yeah, so the finding synergy can be a little challenging. One more sharing, and then, yes, please. Yeah, the mic is coming so that everyone can hear.
See, the drawing part, as most of us said, it was easy because, we would like to draw, no matter how we appear to the eyes of the others. But being in the leadership role, you project yourself as mostly what you're not actually. So it was easy for me to draft those words as how I project myself
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
And then back home, I listened the flip side that you're not this. Because I tend to be very patient with my team, but back home, I lack that. So I was trying to, and thank you for giving me exercise.
And you know, it's very interesting. Thank you for highlighting this. Our role also requires certain layering. Our role also sometimes demands certain pretense. And we are so scared of it peeling off. So we build this facade. But thank you for highlighting that. And that's an adult role, parental role, teacher's role, leader's role. Every situational leadership has those layers that you need to live up to, the facade.
That was a cosmetic role, actually, what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Apply a lot of cosmetics and
yeah.
you come and project yourself as, when you are the head of school, you know, you tend to be carrying all the attributes of a leader. But then at the end of the day, you're just one among them and you carry all the emotions and frustrations like anyone else.
Thank you, thank you. And also, I mean, as a leader, you have no choice but to be patient. घर में आके चिल्लाओ बस, no problem. But at workplace, you got to be empathy, compassionate, patient, hearing out, everything. And I've seen a lot of teachers, the split, you know, when the school says, we got to be understanding, you got to be dialogic, you got to be, you know, listening in, and you can't, even if you have this real, ek do tappad de, you can't. And I've seen my own teachers, khud ke bacche ko idhar udhar dekh ke, right? Because you kind of are denying this and you're trying to fit in this role. And it's very, very stressful. And the reason why I wanted you to experience is this, that there is a kind of rowing on two boats that you will be doing all the time. And the wholesome wellness is about how not to fall between the boats. Let me just take you through just a couple of, I don't know where I left this. Yeah. It's just a nice quote. I thought I should just share it with you. It is the fundamental pillar. And to some extent, I want to replace educators with the staff team. Because if you really look at therapeutic communities when it comes to mental health, every member from the security to the ward boy to the nurse to the one who is cleaning are all viewed as members who contribute to the therapy. Similarly, in school systems, every member's well-being matters. Though we are highlighting here the educators, but as an ecosystem, we got to be very, very mindful of. Okay, so I want 8 volunteers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8 volunteers. Quick. Oops. If you all can come here and stand in a circle. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 1 more. Yes, 8. If you can stand in a circle. And if each of you can just pick up one aspect of the well-being, any one, your favorite. Occupational, spiritual, social, somebody has taken, environment, financial, physical, intellectual. So yeah, once again, occupational, social, spiritual, environmental, okay, wait, we'll come to you. Financial, intellectual, physical, और क्या बच्चा है यार? No, spiritual is, he has taken it. But कोई बात नहीं, just stand next to him. Okay? So I want you to watch what they are doing, okay? Each of them represent an aspect of it. We will go into what each of them represent, but they are quite self-explanatory. When I talk about environment, I'm talking about the organization climate. I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the very subtle feelings of when you meet people on the corridors, and the sense of when you have a get-together or a staff meeting, or when you go on a retreat, or just when you are collaborating on a project. So we're talking about environment as in the school climate. Well, physical we know now. I mean, post-COVID. One day somebody says coffee is good, next day they say don't drink. Someone says have haldi ka doodh, next day they say haldi doodh is not good. So in all this, whatever you do, somebody is going to tell you that is not good. But it's a whole lot of gyan that we have, WhatsApp University is giving, but we know that there is a general sense of what is physical. And of course, physical includes a whole lot of that. The intellectual is also very, very core to our profession. And we are not talking about just the content delivery or the knowledge systems, but the knowledge system of how our students learn and why they learn the way they do, how should the delivery should be and what's relevant for them and all the skill sets. And the emotional is the two papers. The gap between who I am and who I want to be or who I think I am. Something that's really never looked into deeply, but something that really makes an impact is also financial. Financial worry can kill you. And a lot of us don't like to keep that accessible and projected because, well, I have a financial problem is not something that adults would like to say, but that's something that you need to think about. And the social is a whole lot of networking, ability to work in a group, ability to follow and lead, and to be collaborative, and sorry, to build and retain relationships. That's so important, so critically important. So that's the social element. The spiritual part of it is, we'll come to it more deeper, but the whole existential questions, because that keeps coming up. It keeps, bothering us as to what's the purpose, what's the larger purpose, what am I here for? Am I here for success or significance? So what we are going to do is stand in a nice big circle, please. So I am this caught in the whirlpool. Okay? So I give it to you. What is important is, do not lose the thread, what you're holding. Yeah, you have done this in networking, I know. That's always educated. हमने किया है. But अभी इसको थोड़ा अलग interpretation. Okay, here, yeah. So you can throw it to someone, wherever. You can just say you're spiritual. Okay, you're giving it like that. Financial is just giving it like that, you see, occupational. Dono saathi hai na, okay? Social. Okay? Dekha? Stated it, but lost the thread. Just wait and see. Yes. Okay? Okay? Yeah. You can send it back. You can send it back. The intellectual already got caught in the web of its own making. Okay? Yes? This is the teacher. We'll make a nice spider web. Did I tell them to do it? Simple activity tha. Just pass that ball. Activity में web बनाएंगे, nice बनाएंगे, all that. Yeah. Okay. Leaders, please watch. Occupational is connecting to the emotional. Just want you to watch. Social, spiritual, okay? Spiritual cannot throw. He got so lost in, should I say my own thing or should I say whom I'm throwing it to? And then she is lost how to catch it. Okay? Yeah? Now, okay, now you don't discuss. You pick up from this what you think for your context. Your what now? So, for financial well-being, what is important for you? Okay, intellectual. Really? All intelligent people make money? Intellectual is what she's saying, okay? What are you? Oh, she's intellectual and she wants to be going with emotional, okay? Okay, emotional and social, SCL हो गया है, okay? Yeah? Okay, you are looking at the organization culture, the climate, okay, environmental. Okay. Okay. Now comes the shift. You have a lot of spiritual sitting there. There's a lot of financial sitting there. A lot of intellectual sitting there. Emotional sitting there. This is spiritual. Who would want to receive that? Throw it. Don't tell me if you can't undo this, okay? If you can just come forward a bit. Whoever wants to receive. No? No. Listen, the minute you move, the whole dimension changes, right? She was trying to go there. Yeah, she was trying to help. You are the intellectual. No. Environment was trying to help. Okay. Yes. And you chose? Spiritual too? Acha, you also wanted spiritual. Spiritual to spiritual. Okay. One more. Let's be honest. What's the most significant well-being if you have to choose? What's your top priority? What's your top priority? Physical. How many of you say physical? Top priority. Okay. Emotional, the next one. Yeah. Emotional and social together. How many of you would say financial well-being is equally important? Yes? Okay. From there, who should be receiving? You, what do you want to be? Social. Okay. If you can come here. Here. Yes. You can already see. Hold it tight. Hold it tight. Okay? And from there, do you want to throw it to someone? She talked about emotional. Who would want emotional from this group? Social. Sorry, social. Who would want to get that? Okay? Throw it from there. And she left it. She dropped it. Yeah? And you are intellectual, emotional. Can you just drop all your threads that you're holding? Just leave it. Just leave it. 1 to 3 bhi bol raha hai. Yeah? And financial. Can you just drop it? Yeah, just drop the whole thing. Okay. What happened? What happened? A lot of time we kind of prioritize that physical over this, or emotional over financial, or organization climate. No, I'm giving a fairly good package. I have a fairly good transparent processes. I have, enough, professional development, but I don't really invest in building this climate. And then you get this feeling, why are my staff not very happy and engaged? Why is that they're not collaborative? So every time you drop one, the whole balance actually goes down. And I think this is something that we need to think about. Thank you. You can just leave your threads down there. Do you want to say anything? Since you were holding the thread. Okay. So a lot of time emotional, and then we immediately think of a social. We think of occupational and probably a financial stability, or the knowledge systems, the intellectual well-being. And I think none of these well-being, if you were to put in hierarchies, you can't do it in pyramid at all. None of these well-beings can be aligned in a very hierarchical way. It is as significant. And when I was recently on a retreat, those of you who have seen my picture with Dalai Lama, very recent it happened. And I remember this communication that this Lama made. He said, the soul has sought you. So you as a body has to look after the guest. You must nurture your soul and do what you need to enrich that. And I thought that's a complete different framework from saying that the whole body-mind connect, If you don't have a good body, you can't house a good mind. Or if your mind is not okay, your body begins to show the somatic symptoms. And he went one step ahead, and to say that the self-care he spoke about, and he said that a lot of us think self-care is about going to a spa, having a facial, a foot massage, a vacation, or maybe buying an expensive jewelry or whatever that you think is indulgent. Whereas he says the self-care is, remember the soul, what you feed in is what the self-care is. If you feed anger and the soul receives that, that's really not self-care. If I'm angry with you and I am actually feeding myself that negativity, I'm actually feeding myself that unrequired adrenaline and acidity. Whereas the self-care is to say, consciously give yourself the positive emotions. And I thought that's a very brilliant way of balancing it. And constantly remember, the soul is the guest in your body, and it deserves a good body. It deserves a healthy body. And it deserves a wonderful environment. It deserves a wonderful holistic wellness. And I thought that's a very, very brilliant thing. Any other perspective?
Well, I think it depends because all the elements of wellness, they are subject to prioritization. In given point in time, this priority keeps on changing, and that's how, because all of them trigger the peace to the soul. So
Okay.
at the point of age where I am right now, maybe some elements I prioritize differently, whereas people of the age group who are elder to me or who are younger to me, they have. So I believe.
Thank you for reminding. In his age, he probably is prioritizing something and he's dropped his other threads. And a lot of us have experienced it, especially when you're in this career building 30, 40, 50. A lot of us prioritize professional development, financial stability, intellectual growth, and a lot of us compromise on the physical part. And little do we realize that suddenly you're at an age and stage where all your parameters, vitals are showing that, hey, you know what, you need to reset your priorities. I think if you're conscious of this balance that you need to keep, even if at certain age you have a priority, but not to let go the other thread. That's the most significant understanding for you, because you let go to pick up that is very, very time consuming, and it's very expensive, because at the cost of some time, all the drop down death that we hear, I think somewhere that they left one thread loose or let go one thread, that's not very important. How many of you thought financial well-being is part of the wholesome well-being? How many of you really thought of that? Very few hands. I realized it very late. And it eats you, right? That if you're not having, and I don't mean richness in terms of wealth. I'm talking about the balance in terms of your needs. And sometimes we don't think about, that's a sad part. We educate our students on literacy, financial literacy, and I rarely see teachers sitting in those sessions. Because we believe that we will take care of it when we cross the bridge. Or my husband will do all the investments for women. And I don't know for men who does the decisions. Yeah? But a lot of time we think this financial literacy is not something I need to think about. Hai thoda deduction say PF hai. And I just told Vishwas yesterday, after 20 years, you get a pension of 2023. Not US dollars, yeah. Think about it. This is going to be important. So not one thread is something that you can let loose, even though you have a valid point. There could be slight balance in the priority setting. Anyone else? Yes?
It's kind of a Ashtapailu Vyaktimatva. It is like, 8 dimensions for a personality.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's very important because you need to keep it a balance of everything. And that is the true wellness for you to outshine.
Absolutely. And of course, COVID reminded us some things very high top priority: physical, emotional, and social. I mean, our students missed the most was the social element. They didn't come back to school they were not dying to study. They were dying to be social, to hang out, to meet people, to actually have this community connect. And I think schools have to create this consciously amongst the team members. Thank you. Thank you for this. Any thoughts from the audience while you were watching it? Any personal takeaways? Yes, please. Yes, Jacob. You should have seen the design on the floor.
It was a nice column.
Yes.
So I was going to share 2 thoughts. One is, I think the first takeaway for me is the importance of balance. And I think we struggle with that throughout our lives. And so how do you find balance among 8 different criteria? I think that's hard to do. And then the second is the last point you landed on, which is financial. And I think, in fact, I often advocate for financial literacy simply because I ask the question, if you were to ask yourself, what important decisions do you make in your life that do not have a financial implication? I think you're going to find almost none.
Yes.
So if almost every decision in your life has some kind of financial implication, why aren't we learning finance? Why aren't we teaching finance?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's not an awkward word, because at the end of the day, bills have to be paid. And if you don't have it, you start worrying. And you start worrying, it starts showing up on your physical health. And it's so, so interconnected. And I thought, this is something that's really brilliant.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yes, please. Oh, yes, yes.
Well, I think the balance, what we talk about, it just gets into every stage of your life. And that is where we pick up each thread out of the 8. And there are times when you drop those threads. It happens.
Of course it happens.
It's not intentionally, but it happens. And that is where I think you need to have the grit to pick it up. At least if not completely, but hold on to it at whatever level you want to.
True, true.
Yeah, because right from the day you finish your school and get into college, these threads start coming in your way. And so at my stage now, I look at spiritual more important than anything else. Yeah, so that's why I think everyone has to understand which is the thread they're going to really hold on at that point of time very closely to their heart.
And but not to let go any.
Yeah, let go any. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I think we have to be conscious about on a regular basis, where am I right now? And what do I hold on to more preciously?
Thank you, because we're talking about an awareness, a very conscious awareness. And I think a 16-year-old is so involved with emotions and social dimensions, they actually don't think about physical at all. Until they either turn to become a sports person or maybe wanting into a competitive sports, that's when they want to pump up. Or of course they want to impress the other person. And if you see a lot of data is there to show that, look at the sleep deprivation. And it's like we all know it, we are all aware of it, but we don't attend to it until the vitals begin to tell that you can no more postpone it. I think the whole point is to build this awareness that nothing is over the other. Yes?
One other thing. I think the whole idea of wellness, while it's very self-centered, we are living in a community of people, sometimes with your own family members, you have friends, you have an extended family, or even social structures that you're part of. Sometimes prioritizing wellness also means identifying people and communities where your wellness parameters match. Absolutely. That everybody we think alike. And therefore it's important not just for my sense of wellness, but for the other persons also, so that we can grow and thrive together. A lot of us are unable to make those choices together, even within families. Yes. Like you mentioned, that the financial wellness is considered the man's domain, and the woman lets it happen. But the moment there's something wrong in the family, God forbid, the woman doesn't know what to do. And until it's a partnership, that it's important for us to look after our physical self so that we are there for our children, we are there for our parents when they need us. That if you don't have that right partnership, you're not able to align yourself with the larger purpose of what you're living your life for. So sometimes we are in situations where our wellness partnership does not match. And that's where causes a lot of conflict.
Yep. And I just want us to be very aware of this one reality, that we are, let's say, married to each other, we are in this family together, we are in this organization together, either by design or by choice or pure coincidence. But remember, you have only yourself as the canvas, a vehicle for all that you want to achieve. However much you say one need to be very holistic and community connected, but if you do not align yourself, this canvas, this vehicle, all your dreams will get interrupted. So that's also very, very important. And I think that self-care definition is very beautiful, that self-care is not about self-indulgence or self-mortification. It's that fine balance that you need to have. So this is just that, OECD talked about why educators' wellness is so important. And I think it's just a kind of a confirmation that one is making. Of course, we all know that my mood affects my classroom. And still we all tell the students, we don't say it so consciously, but we say, leave all your worries outside the classroom. I mean, how far-fetched that is from the truth, that we are a whole person. I mean, we cannot be sitting in the classroom, a child can't, and you have seen this post-COVID. Kids have seen so much of drama and, fragmentation of families and violence, that they come back, they're not able to leave it ahead, leave it and compartmentalize. You are bringing this whole person. So I think to acknowledge that, to say that you are here with all your bags and baggages. And I expect our organizations to also understand that while we are here as teachers, we are also here as person. I'm also here as a woman. I'm also here as a mother, a sister, a daughter, mother-in-law. So we do have our roles. And sometimes everything just gets caught like this. So that's very important. And I think we know the serious implications of mental health on our students, our mood and our ways of dealing with this. And we know that the negative impact. And I think it's also something I wanted to tell you, the paper that we made. Rarely teachers reveal that today I'm not okay, I'm not feeling okay. Kids, can we just support each other? You are supposed to be this all in control. So you put this, the other side of the mask. And sometime to say, you know what, oh, I forgot today to, close the gas, so I'm a little worried. And kids will actually see the human aspect of you and not this superhuman. Sometimes, when kids meet you in a restaurant, they're like, oh, Dee, you have come to eat. I mean, it's like as if we don't do normal things. So I think normalizing our mental health and our wellness also is very, very important for our students. Yeah. This is the question that I asked you, that there is a teacher exodus, but our teachers don't tell the truth. They often make the mother-in-law fall in the bathroom. I don't know why mostly mothers-in-law fall in the bathroom, and always in the bathroom. Apart from all the other naive reasons like husband's transfer and child care not available and, planning a family. So a lot of those, what you call the legit reasons, but you also have reason that they're not able to articulate. So for organizations, every exit interview is a HR direction. If they are giving you an iota, a small peek into their world of inability to cope, I think that's important for us. And to sense this teacher burnout is important. How many of you actively go and meet your school counselor and talk about your problems? Ek bhi haath nahi. You know why? Remember the mask? Remember the mask? You can't show you're vulnerable, that you are incapable of handling your things. You are this amazing teacher. Amazing leader to even more amazing hona chahiye. And principal to kabhi, he has to have that smile all the time. Mother, always. And if you're a director, even if you're burying in financial problems, you should show all is well. Right? Everything has to be kept on that facade. And just look at this. Just look at this, the burnout. And I think, as I said, why is that we don't seek professional help or a conversation? Or to say, today, I'm feeling like this. Is there a space for us to express? and not be judged. Because we are very, very worried, and that's why that flip side was kept hidden. And as long as you keep it hiding, it's going to keep coming up in the way of your functioning. Yeah, this could be a nice tool for you, as we call it the ruler, not the king ruler, to be able to recognize that you have those feelings, experiences, and as you rightly said, Rutuparna, about your own and others' emotions, because you're not working in some kind of a silo. And to understand, where is it coming from? And remember that a lot of it comes from the past that we haven't healed and dealt with, especially in relationships. आपने 1932 7th January को ये बोला था, and then you go spiral down. इसके वजह से, उसके वजह से. A lot of time you don't realize where is this disturbance stemming from. And I think you got to be sitting quiet to think about and reflect. Otherwise, you don't get the answer. And to label. And I'm not even giving you the number of expressions in the vocabulary. And we've been, if I ask, in fact, I tell my Marathi students, when I ask, how is the class? Chan hota. How are you? Very good. I say chan and very good has no flavor, no character. Non-committal answers. So you need to remove these words from your vocabulary. If you want to actually really be precise, you need to also train yourself for putting because if you have a fairly good diagnosis, you have fairly good possibilities of self-help. I don't mean those books, okay? And to be able to express it in a very constructive way, to be able to handle it, and also to deal with it in different contexts. And emotions are a very, very complex matter when it comes to relationship. Your relationship with your boss, your reporting authority, your colleague, someone who reports to you, your students, and a maushi or a kaka. You have so many ecosystems in this whole organization. So this is important. And last but not the least is to regulate. Where is your training on that? How do we regulate? How do we use our anger? Or how do we use our excitement, our curiosity, or our jealousy? That's something that we are so prone to. Have you seen this? It happens in my school. We used to have these pouches with names. We used to put the chit. I know its time is over. We used to put a chit, and if Lakshmi has a chit, somebody will come and say, "Dekh lo, jaake." And even if there is a warning chit, I'll open it and smile and say, "Oh, she's appreciated my work." And the minute I say that, someone will say, "Oh, why is Lakshmi's work appreciated and not mine?" We're that insecure in our mind. And quickly, the jealousy actually works in very, very destructive ways. So I think this is very important. And I thought I will leave you with this image of the emotional pyramidal needs. Very important is the acceptance. Oh, sorry. This one. The lal is not working. Gentle acceptance. And gentle acceptance will help you close the gap between the two faces that you drew. Okay? And of course, to be compassionate to yourself. But especially women have been trained not to grant yourself. We are so hard on ourselves. That's something that you need to look at. And this adds to a mental health problem. And to routinely pick up a health routine. That's something that we don't prioritize. We find reason not to have a routine when it comes to hafte mein 2 baar, but keep that as a routine. It's important. And to have these connections. Connections where you don't have to constantly talk about work, but also about you as a person. You as a human being, you as a mother, you as, a lot of those things. And of course, to be courageous. Life will throw lots of lemons. And you don't have to always make lemonades, yaar. Limbu achar bhi kar lo, koi baat nahi. Right? Or lemon rice karo. Or nice lemon facial. But the point is to have the courage to say, throw at me, I'm fine with it. I'm okay to deal with this. and reset. Very, very important. And especially, we are also parents. We are also significant adults in our children's life. Reset and wisdom. So I leave you with a very small, very short story. Apna Mullah Nazaruddin and his donkey. So he was crossing this checkpost every day, going by, taking a donkey. And this excise duty police officer thought that he is carrying something, he's smuggling something, and I need to catch. So every day he would stop the donkey and mullah and look for hidden smuggling drugs or money or alcohol. Nahi mil raha tha. Roj, every day. And it was like mullah comes, takes the donkey, he looks at the donkey's back and his bags, and nothing is available. So then one evening, this frustrated police guy and mullah are meeting in the local inn, having a couple of drinks. So the police, so frustrated, he says, Mullah, I know you're doing something. Kuch to le ja rahe ho across the border, and I'm not able to catch you, yaar. Pata nahi hai kya hai. What do you smuggle? He says, the donkey. Every day I smuggle a new donkey. Sometimes in life, we miss the obvious. Be very conscious of what you are searching and what you are seeking. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for those reflective and contemplative words about mental health. We would now like to request
I want to
you...
know, where is this voice coming from? It's like Akashvani. Subah se main dekh rahi hu, like uppar se, where? Acha, that Akashvani is there. Lovely. Because I try to look around. It's like this uppar se, once upon a time. Thank you, boys. Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't kill my curiosity.
We would now like to request you, ma'am, to remain on stage and accept a small token of our appreciation.
I'm a school owner myself. Thank you. And I've always believed in creating a very positive, healthy work culture which has a lot of communication within the team so that people can collaborate better and even step in for each other when needed. I think that I would love to get your opinion on this matter, that given mental wellness is an important priority for us at our school, what methods of communication can we further enhance? And for other school owners and educators here, they could perhaps suggest these for their schools as well. If you could throw some light on that, I think that'd be really nice. And this is a great topic. We really learned a lot today. Thank you.
I think my one recommendation for all time is transparency. 100%. So you don't have to cover up. And access. All time. Have you seen sometimes school leaders sit in such rat hole where you have to go through 100 checkpoints before you meet them? What message are you giving? If you think you are so important, then you should be so available. Period. Nothing is going to be sorted out without the human connection. So complete integrity, honesty, and access. And you be available in your complete, honest integrity and with transparency. You will see this being a ripple effect. I hope. Yes, any other? Chai time. Okay. During chai time, Madhav has said you can talk to me. Thank you.